Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Garalith is saying hello as well. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor and we are back in Langaran, and from the last episode we finished everything we had to do in Swanfleet, it seems. But, well, we need to go back to Skardi now to advance the epic, but before we do that... Oh, it's at Helig. Yeah, we can actually take the Stable Master there, turn in the other quest, and then we'll dedicate ourselves to the epic, so let's do that.
We have little to say to your kind.
This will most likely trigger the deed. I have not discovered this deed on any or of my other characters, so I'm really curious to see how this deed works exactly. What do we need to do for it? So I'm gonna check this really quick, and then we're gonna continue on our way back to Mosward. Ah, Helig, but below Helig. Oh, jeez. I get it now. No, don't fall! Don't fall! No, no, no! Not again! Jesus! That bridge! A nasty fall at level 17, that would suck. That's not what I had in mind.
Hello! Hello!
Oh, hello! What's that there? May I see it? Théoden King inspects Stoneback's shell closely, running his hands along the outer side of the shell and feeling its many small imperfections. After a time, he holds the shell outward in front of him, gripping it with both hands, and for a moment he disappears entirely behind it. With a laugh, he tilts the shell to the side and reappears. Oh, what fun this is! I have half a mind to ride this down to the Old South Road when the snow comes this year. It might be the last thing I ever do, but perhaps it would be worth it for such a thrill. If you find anything else of this sort, please bring it here and I'll see that you are compensated for your efforts. Thank you, friend. So there we go, Trophy Hunter of Swanfleet. Let me check this really quick. How many? Oh, geez, that's a lot. 1 out of 6. And I only got 1. Oh. That's gonna take a while then. Thing is, we're about to leave. So I don't think we can do much about this at all. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. Riding back to Clegger, I'm gonna take the Stable Master there, back to Mosward. But I'm not sure if you can hear that through the mic. I hope my filters are doing a good job with that. But the baby just woke up. So, you give me just a moment. I'll take care of that. See what he wants, and I'll be back with you when I'm ready to travel back to Mosward. So let me just take a quick stop at the Stable Master, and I'll be back in just a second. Alright, sorry for the interruption there. It seems everything's taken care of right now. We'll need to wait and see. But for the time being, we can try and go back to Mosward. And now resume the epic. And well, before I forget, I told you I was gonna take the time to work on my crafting at Langaran. I did take a look at that. It was actually really simple, no struggles at all in there, so it's glad to see at least for scholars you really are not hindered if you decide to wait until you get to Langaran to start your crafting. There's plenty of features in Caras Galavern and the northern side of Swanfleet for you to complete this, no issues at all. Scardy gives you a craft greeting as you enter his shop.
I did not think you would return to Mossward so quickly.
It just so happens that Geralt and Wenna came by a short time ago, and they asked me to prepare some equipment to give to you in the event you returned. Seems they wanted to give you a reward for looking after their boy Tegwin. They arranged to pay for it, so who am I to argue? They have so far kept the lad from bothering me as often as he used to, which is nearly payment enough, if you ask me. Nearly, I said. Peace of mind doesn't put food on the table, but luckily for you, coin does. So you pick whatever you like, and now cost to you. So yeah, we're gonna go with the sword.
So where does your road now lead? Old Cardolan, you say?
Scardy strokes his beard. There's not a lot there as I understand it. To hear Meneldir talk, you'd think it was a great kingdom, but that was long ago. Claimed by war and plague it was, apparently, and now it's remembered mainly by rangers and by scholars, and by those with the misfortune to hear them go on about it. I'll not stop you, but if you're going that way, you'll need to cross the river at Tharbad. The bridge there is out, and the crossing will not be pleasant. Enjoy yourself, Beriathan. I will stay here in my shop, where it is warm and dry.
Scardy is right. If we are to reach Cardolan, we will need to cross the river Gwathlo at Tharbad.
When the Númenóreans built the city, its great bridge provided a valuable link to Gondor and trade with the Southlands flourished. But in time, the Kingdom of Arnor diminished, and Tharabad was abandoned. The South Road became less traveled than in prosperous days. Masonry crumbled over the years, and parts of the city fell into the river. The great thaw that followed the fell winter released the floodwaters, and portions of the mighty bridge were lost for good. But folk crossed the river at Tharabad before the bridge was built, and it should remain possible even now that the bridge is gone. We will travel northwest to Tharabad and see for ourselves, Beriathan. Let us meet in the shadow of the broken bridge on the southern bank. Okay. That was faster than I expected. But yeah, we are just ready to go to Tharabad now. That's so exciting. And this sword is also a really nice upgrade from what we have. Once again, we are just missing a good pair of shoes, which hopefully won't take long. And we'll be going down to Tharbad. You will also might have realized that, well, it's expected of course, but since I did some crafting in between the previous episode and this one, I of course have a little bit more XP. I didn't bother with a tortoise stone right now. It's not that much, 100 LOTRO points, but considering I have not yet decided what will I do with this character after the Before the Shadow playthrough, I'm still not sure if investing 100 LOTRO points for the stone will be worth it. And on the other hand, even if we do every single quest there is to be found in Swanfleet and Cardolan, that will not be enough to get you to level 32, which is the level you need to be to actually finish the epic in Before the Shadow. So the extra XP does come nice, and I hope it will be helpful in the long run. So here we are, Tharabad. You know what? Yeah, why not take a picture of the city? Because this is where the epic really starts to pick up. And all this was just an introduction of sorts to the main conflict that we will be dealing with through Cardolan. And yeah, I enjoyed Cardolan a lot more than I did Swanfleet, so I'm really looking forward to this once again. Oh! And these are broken urns for the Journeyman Scholar. Oh! There's a woodcutter here. Okay, do you need help? Orc Slayer of Cardolan. What do we have here? How many? 60. Easy peasy.
Would you lend me your aid?
I am a woodcutter, friend, not a fighter. When I encountered orcs within the flooded city, I ran. It is without shame that I tell you I dropped my axe, though I need it for my livelihood. Do you think you could repay the orcs for this insult and recover my axe at the same time? Any excuse for fighting orcs. It's a good excuse. So yeah, I'll help you. There we go. Can even try and get some of these urns in the meantime. But I truly was only worried about maxing out my apprentice scholar, because I think there will be plenty of chances in Cardolan to actually get the journeyman materials. So I will not worry too much about that. We should be okay. Also, something really important that I thought would take a little bit longer to go live is update 36, which is coming up this Wednesday. Actually, I think this video will be released on Wednesday, so today. But that means that with that we won't need to worry about reactivating forced march ever again. So really looking forward to that change. It's gonna be a great quality of life improvement, but it would also give me the chance to reorganize my quick slots a little bit more. I have an idea of what I want to do, because I will not need to have forced march as readily available as I do now. So I think in the meantime I will be able to do something else. But I will need to give it a try when the change goes live, so that I can see if that really works. This must be Huel's missing axe. It's gotta be right, it's the only axe.
Can you spare a moment?
Ah, there's my axe. What would I have done without... Hold on a moment, this is not my axe. This axe is completely different.
What I would not give for a moment's peace.
Since this axe is not mine, that means its owner might still be somewhere in the city and in danger. You should return to where you found it and see if you can find and help its owner. It's the right thing to do. So let's see what else do we have here, because there's a couple things in here. So we have the deed Tales of Cardolan, and we for some reason have already completed Known to the Dúnedain of Cardolan. So friend to the Dúnedain of Cardolan. Alright. But that means we have completed Known to the Dúnedain of Cardolan, 5 LOTRO points and a title. We have reached acquaintance status with the Dúnedain of Cardolan. Let me check that because that does seem weird, but yeah. This faction, the Dúnedain of Cardolan, starts already at acquaintance. I find that really interesting, really, because there are examples of many other factions throughout the game where it makes most sense for you to already start at a higher tier. Like, for example, the Host of the Wests in the Wastes, and the Maladrim in Mirkwood, or the Conquest of Gorgoroth, to just give you a couple examples of moments where you technically already know the characters, you've been working with them, so it would make sense for you to have an starting tier that's higher than the neutral one. So I'm not sure what they have done it that way with the Dúnedain of Cardolan. Most likely there is not enough reputation to max it out, and that's why they give you the free tier, but nonetheless, I still find that one curious. And something else that we also have here, Tales of Cardolan, 20 quests. Alright, we already have one. So, making good progress. Now, back to where we found the axe. What will we find in here? Like, are we supposed to find a corpse? Because who else would be the owner of such an axe in this place? The earth is trampled to the southwest. Perhaps the axe owners went that way? Yeah, I'm gonna take your word for it because I don't see anything. Blood stains the earth here and tracks lead southwest. Even more to the southwest. Around here then, I hope, I guess. Here we are. Around the right spot. Ah, yeah. There is the poor soul. The owner of the axe ran afoul of the orcs in Tharbad and perished. Yeah, that was to be expected. You were really deep in Tharbad. There was not a lot of hope for someone such as he, sadly. And it seems you also want to fight. Okay.
What I would not give for a moment's peace.
You found the owner of the axe, but he was already slain by orcs. Does that end? Truly. I will wield his axe in memory of this poor unfortunate Beriathan, and from this day forth I will dedicate it works to making wooden weapons that will repay the orcs for the life they took this day. I swear it. Thank you for doing what you could. Yeah, that was basically it. A little side activity, if you will, here in Tharbad. We got the new globes. And we're ready to continue now. We, once again, gotta look for Meneldir. But let's see if we can make use of some of these urns. Maybe not all of them. I don't think that's that necessary, but at least a couple of them. Alright, seems we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Where are you, Meneldir? You should be... Maybe he was downstairs after all. Well, but now that I'm here, this gives us the perfect excuse as well to take a picture of the broken bridge. So let's see. Through here. You know what? It's been a while since last time we took a picture of ourselves in the landscape. But yeah, I think the ruined bridge, the picture looks a little bit better if we are in it. Doesn't look as barren, as empty. So I'm just gonna try a couple different angles. For the picture. First time we come to Tharbad, so it's an important occasion, I would say. Oh, we're about to get level 18, so we got shield up, readied blade, and shield up and readied blade, but the ranged versions. One class trade point. That's basically it. Alright. Those are also a couple of gambits that might come in handy for the tougher situations. Oh, this is an expert material. Alright. Already. So yeah, we can take use of some of the things we are getting already. That's great. A woman sits astride a tall steed on the bank of the Quathlo. Alright, just give me a minute. Woman of Rohan.
Hello, strangers. Be you friend or foe to Rohan?
I admit I cannot tell from your mien. Are you a friend to Rohan and to its people? I mean, can you not tell me? I mean, Gondor and Rohan are neighbors, so you would guess that a Rohirrim would be able to recognize the livery of Elendil. I mean, even if you haven't been to Minas Tirith yourself, you must have heard something about us. You assure the woman that you and Meneldir do not seek to cause trouble for any good folk, and that you merely seek to cross the river on your way north. The woman thinks for a moment and then nods. She turns her eye upon Meneldir. Do not think this question too forward, but I must ask it. You are dressed as I was told the Dúnedain Rangers dress, well suited for a life in the wilderness of the inhospitable north. Are you one of this kind? For they are the folk I seek on my errand as urgent.
Your question is not an easy one for me to answer.
Let us say I was once of that folk, but if need drives you to seek the Dúnedain, your search is not at an end. Yet our purposes may align, for Beriathan and I also seek the Rangers of the North. Meneldir turns his gaze upon the tumultuous river. Each of our paths require we ford the Quathlo at the river Greyflood, and it will not be easy. I fear the Ranger warriors will be too much in places for your steed to safely make the crossing, and it appears Orcs watch the shallows. I only know of the Rohirrim from tales, but I do know they are loath to part with their horses unless at great need. If such is the need that drives you, I would know your name, and perhaps you will tell us of your errand on the far bank. If not, I would bid you farewell, for Beriathan and I can no longer delay. The woman thinks for a moment and then regretfully dismounts from her steed.
Farewell, my son. May you find your way back to the very fields of the North.
I will see you again when my task is done. The woman turns back to you, a cold look in her eye. The fate of Rohan rests upon my quest, or I would not leave one so loyal as my Starkmod. So swears Egfrith of Faldam, who has ridden here with all haste to acquire the help Théoden King requires. Now let us ford the river, and at once. Alright, so this presents to me a very interesting dilemma that up until now I hadn't figured out how to solve. I think I have an answer now for that. Might not be the best answer, but Let me explain to you in just a moment, because the thing is, as Meneldir has said, the crossing here at Tharabad is not suited for horses. And if Egfrith, who is a rider of Rohan, is not skillful enough to make this crossing with a horse, what chance do I have with my good old Limbot, right? So the dilemma I've been facing is, how exactly can I roleplay this? Do I leave Limbot behind? But if that is the case, then how can you explain the horse I used throughout my entire Shadows of Angmar playthrough? Or do I roleplay this as Limbot being able to cross with me? But if that's the case, that would make Egfrith look like a really poor rider. And we are getting a little bit ahead of ourselves as well, but Boromir couldn't cross Tharabad with his horse either. At first, when I first read the book, I thought he had tried to cross with the horse and the horse had drowned. But from what I remember, it seems his horse was also able to make it back to the mark. At some point in the Two Towers, I believe it was, someone mentioned something along the lines of Boromir's horse coming back home without his rider. Maybe Faramir, I'm not sure. But that's what Boromir did, and that's what Egfrith is doing. And we can assume her horse will also be able to make it back to the mark, even though it's a long journey. But it seems that is the most sensible solution. So the idea that I just had to solve my little dilemma is that Beriathan decides to also send Limbot back home, but he decides to keep the Citadel Guard armor for another horse. I mean, Beriathan plans to get another horse when he comes to the other side of the river. Somehow, how exactly I'm not sure, but he will get another horse, and he will need to outfit the new horse with the Citadel Guard armor, and that horse will also be called Limbot in honor of this first one that he sent back home. And once again, we can also assume that the original Limbot now also was able to make his way back to the mark and potentially even Minas Tirith. But this is just an idea I just had, so I haven't gotten that far with it. I don't know, I still need to polish some details, but it seems like a sensible enough answer to this dilemma, so I hope you agree with me, but that's what we're going with. However, before we start crossing the river, we can take this plaque. The Ravaging of Cardolan is the new deed that we have here. Carvings on this ancient stonework speak of Prince Amlith, firstborn son of King Earendil, revealed in the Leaves in 777. And yeah, not a lot of story for the other that we just got. So with all this out of the way, gonna miss you, Limbot the First, but this, yeah, doesn't seem to be a good place for a horse. So the way in which I also like to play this is I'm trying to find a way to cross without Beriathan going into the swimming animation, because the idea with all this is that this river is really treacherous. Oh my god, like that. So you really need to find a way to ford it. I don't think you can swim across it. And from the looks of it, this is what we need to do. We need to come over the debris over here that will help us cross the deep waters. Let us hope I'm right with this. There we go. Oh! That didn't work as I had planned. I remember the first time I did this, I was able to cross without ever going into the swimming animation, and right now I cannot remember how I did it, but I know I did. So I remembered my first crossing of Tharabad. I thought, well, this is not so bad. A horse could do it, but it seems I cannot find that way again. Your muscles ache, but the harsh cries of orcs from nearby strengthen your resolve. So, no. Did they patch this at some point? Am I misremembering anything? Because I don't remember ever needing to swim in here. Oh jeez. Doesn't seem to be the right path, this one. This one either. I mean, I'm at such a loss. It's all lost now. Jump to the other side of the perilous river. That's what I'm trying to do. Oh. Yeah, I don't think there is another way around it. We just need to swim. Oh, you see there seems to be a little bridge. Or something that could pass as a bridge. But that's the other one that I tried to use. And we also need to swim to get to this one. Yeah, there's no way around it. We need to swim to cross this. I don't know how did I manage to cross without swimming. Maybe I am misremembering. Seems most likely at this rate, but bottom line, you emerge dripping from the river, glad to be across at last. That was not pleasant, Beriathan, but at least we have reached the northern bank. It would have been much easier were the great bridge still intact. I will need to rest for a short time before we proceed. How fares Egfrith? There she comes. Egfrith emerges from the river, gasping for breath. I hope Starkmod understands. He would have followed me anywhere I would lead him, even to his death. He is the same as I am, for I would do anything for Rohan. Egfrith breathes deeply and rubs the feeling back into the muscles of her arm. On the other side of this cruel river, you ask why I seek the Dúnedain Rangers. Théoden King has fallen ill, seized by a weakness of the body from which it is feared he may not recover. I was told the Rangers of the North know methods of healing that might cure the King's ailment. I am to recover one of their remedies or to return to Edoras with one of their healers that he might heal the king. It is only for the future of Rohan that I would abandon my Starkmod. Any who question that will face my sword. I can hear orcs prowling among the ruins of the city, and if we do not post a watch, they may surprise us while we rest from the crossing. They have become an ever-growing threat in my own land, and the king has not the strength to oppose them. Rohan suffers. I will help your friend make sure this campsite remains unoccupied by those who made it, if you will hunt the orcs that prowl the city. We will stay here only long enough to dry our clothes and recover from the crossing, and the fewer orcs between us and the northern road, the better. So there we go, another companion that joins our party, it seems. And I remember at first when I met Egfrith and I also learned why she had decided to leave Rohan and come to the north. I remember thinking, when that's sort of the same dilemma that I also faced when creating Beriathan's backstory. How do you justify someone from Gondor or even Rohan coming all the way here when the war is in the south? And I remember thinking that Egfrith's backstory seemed a little bit far-fetched. I remember thinking, how did she hear of the Rangers of the North all the way from Rohan? And if a journey such as this from Rohan to Breland was justified. if there were no better ways of looking for a healing for Théoden King, but well, those were some of the thoughts I had about Egfrith. But at the time, I also thought, well, I guess they couldn't come up with a better solution because, once again, finding a reasonable explanation as to why someone from Gondor or Rohan would come here, it's really hard. So that's what I thought. Just telling you a little bit of my processing the first time I wasn't here. And the camp is ready now, it seems. How fared you against the Orcs, Beriathan? Did they bear the insignia we encountered on the Urks of Swanfleet? You tell Meneldir the Orcs that prowl the ruined city do not appear to wear the mark of the White Hand, and to your eye they belong to other Orc tribes. Egfrith gives a sudden start. What do you know of this symbol, this White Hand? Orcs bearing this mark have appeared in Rohan of late, and many are the towns and crofts they have traveled throughout the raider mark. The king's illness prevents him from properly dealing with these raiders, and every day the kingdom grows more weak, more frail. But who commands this strife against my people? Meneldir gives you a warning look, and you tell Egfrith that Urks of the White Hand must serve some other powerful chieftain of their own kind. She rests a hand against the pommel of her sword. Yes, that does seem to be the way of that kind. Still, the Orcs here in Tharabad need not serve beneath the White Hand to endanger my own errand or your own. There are other fires to the west, and the other side of the broken bridge from here, and if you clear away their defenders, we will rest more easily and be better prepared to travel safely through the city. Alright, so yeah, scout the enemy camps. I can also do that. Didn't want to fight this guy, but I guess I'll need to. Because I just want to take a look at the bridge from this side. See how it looks. How it compares to the other view. I don't know, I think I like it better from the other side. Once again, just talking about the view. But yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, scout the campfires. Alright, I can do that. So we can climb down this slope over here. Is this one of the campfires? Light glints on the weapons of a man fighting further to the west. Don't worry, Garlic, we're gonna investigate it right away. Help the man engaged in combat with the Orcs to the west. Yeah, but where west exactly? Okay. There we go. The man has triumphed over the Orcs, but he eyes you warily as you approach. Come on. I mean, this is a very important occasion. Please don't interrupt it. But we have found Boromir, son of Denethor, steward of the city, and he is the captain of the Citadel Guard, if I remember correctly. I mean, but even if he weren't, of course Beriathan knows Boromir. Of course, he might not be surprised to see him here. As far as I remember, Boromir's errand to the north was well known to everybody, but still a nice surprise nonetheless. So if you'll excuse me, but yeah, I just gotta greet Boromir as he deserves. And I'm gonna take a couple more pictures alongside his trophy, let's say.
Hail, friend, if friend you be.
I am a long way from my home in the land of Gondor, but if you are an orc foe, then we share that in common. I deem from your gear that you are a traveler yourself, and no stranger to either hardship or fighting. So it is with me, though I am new to this land.
Boromir is my name, and I've come from Minas Tirith by a long road on an urgent errand.
The crossing of the river proved treacherous, and I was forced to abandon my steed. I ran afoul of orcs among the ruins, as you can see, and one of their cowardly thieves stole my pack. When I have recovered it, I will resume my quest. If you catch this thief for me, I will be indebted to you, my good man. I think he ran off to the southwest. Ah, bummer. I was hoping there will be some changes in dialogue with this first meeting with Boromir. Yeah, I think maybe there was too much to ask for Boromir to acknowledge if you are a man of Gondor, but he could at least have acknowledged that you were a man, as opposed to an elf, or a hobbit, for example. Maybe I will need to check this with another character, because he recovered the stolen pack and should return it to Boromir. When I did this with my elf hunter, I remember Boromir mentioned that when we met that I was an elf. So maybe Boromir will mention everyone's race except for the race of man. That goes in line with his character, but I can't be sure of that right now.
You must have struck fear into the heart of that thief, my new friend.
This pack is much lighter than it was when he stole it, and it seems he scattered its contents among the ruins in his eagerness to escape. Might have troubled you to gather up my lost supplies? Where are your lost supplies? Right where I was? Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna help you with that. Where exactly, I wonder? Oh, okay. Here we have one. And another one. Gotta say, Tharbad is huge, which is fitting considering it was one of the most important cities of the Northern Realm. But once again, I might be wrong about this, because finding some of the quests in Cardolan is kind of hard. They are really well hidden, but as far as I remember, there are not a lot of quests in Tharbad. So I ended up thinking this space was underutilized, and I felt sorry for that. So hopefully I was just misremembering, and hopefully I will be able to find a couple more quests in here. If not, then there's sure to be somewhere around here a treasure cache or something. There's got to be something, right? Okay, the last of Boromir's supplies is in here. Perfect. Gonna bring that to Boromir's position, but let me take the urn first. And now we make our way back to him.
Thank you for this, my new friend. I am in your debt.
Not only that, but I must beg your pardon, for I was so pleased to encounter a friendly face that I did not even ask your name. Pray tell it to me now, and forgive me the oversight. Beriathan? It is my honor to make your acquaintance, Beriathan. You say your companions are nearby? I would join them at their fire if you think I would be welcome. If not, I will continue on my own, but it has been a long road and I would not turn down a friendly campfire and pleasing conversation. Awesome. So, yeah, I'm gonna talk to the other guys and hope that they are welcoming. But I just wanted to check this. I mean, I'm not role-playing a Beriathan with this outfit. This is Arnorian, and I have no idea how Beriathan would get a hold of something like this. But what I do know is that at least with this outfit, Boromir and I look more like companions than what we did before. So I just want to take a picture of Boromir and myself. But I also want to take a picture with my Citadel Guard outfit nonetheless. Because, well, that's who I am, right? A member of the Citadel Guard. Once again, it's a little bit disappointing that Boromir is not acknowledging any of this. But, being honest, how many people would roleplay their character as a Citadel Guard of Gondor? And how the devs would be able to know that, to accommodate for us? I mean, regardless if we are a lot or not as many players role-playing as Citadel Guards, there's no way for the devs to know, for the game to identify you. So, I understand why Boromir does not acknowledge you, but I still wish he did it in some sort. Meneldir leaps to his feet as you and Boromir approach.
Who have you found? Who comes so to our fire?
I did not expect to see a soldier of the Citadel this far from his homeland. Yeah, I mean, I'm standing right here, Meneldir. Yeah, it is so sad. This is I mean, I still wish the NPCs were able to acknowledge you in some way, but... Okay, well, I guess there's nothing else we can do about that.
You may sit by our fire, Captain of Gondor, if you are willing to share with us your tale.
Alright, Boromir will tell us his tale, and that is a very interesting tale, but I think we gotta leave that one for later. First of all, well, let me take a quick look in here. I think I'm gonna equip my earring here, and the pocket item I just got, I'm also gonna equip in here. It's looking really nice right now. Once again, I just need a better pair of shoes. Hopefully that's coming soon, but for the time being, gear is looking pretty good. But yeah, I think this will be the end of today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Boromir's tale is really interesting, and as far as I remember, a little bit on the long side, so I don't want to risk it for today's episode, and I actually want to save the occasion for the next one. Hope you will understand. So that will be it for today. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.